Earlier this month, I saw Air perform live at the Brooklyn Paramount as part of their Airplay Moon Safari tour. They went on a similar tour last year, but despite them playing in New York, I opted against going. As fate would have it, they decided to do a 2025 edition of the tour, and the last 3 shows of the North American section all took place at the same venue in New York. I knew I had to get tickets to one of these 3 shows. If I didn't, when would I get another opportunity to see them perform? I've been a fan of Air for over half a decade. At this point, I'd put them among my top 5 favorite artists of all time. I love their unique style of blending together acoustic instruments with electronic textures, and there's a lot of variety across their catalog. Jean-Benoît Dunckel and Nicolas Godin are both very talented and creative artists who have put out so much music I love. Needless to say, I was excited to see them play live. This was the most expensive live music show I've attended, but it was also the most enjoyable one thus far. Honestly, I have no complaints about it. The show didn't start too late, nor did it drag on forever. I had a good seat, and above all, I just enjoyed myself the whole time. I'd never been to the Brooklyn Paramount prior to this, but I gotta say, I really like the interior of the place. It's nicely decorated, and it was mostly easy to navigate. Something I thought was cute was that the bar had a special mixed drink called La Femme d'Argent. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Anyway, the Friday and Saturday performances Air did here had seats for attendees, while the Sunday show was standing. I'm happy I chose to go on Friday, as it being a seated concert was a nice change of pace. The seat I had was in the bottom right section of the venue, but it was the first seat in the row. Because of this, I had a clear view of the whole stage. I didn't really mind being further back in the crowd. The opening act was a guy named Hayes Bradley. He's a DJ and producer from Los Angeles with music dating back to 2016. His set was alright. The visuals were nothing special, but the music he played was all decent. I do think the way he was moving on stage looked goofy though. Here's a short clip of his set. Bradley's set was only a half hour, which was honestly the perfect length. The music he played was definitely more intense than the material Air is known for, so I'm glad it was relatively brief. After a half-hour intermission, both members of Air and a guest drummer appeared. Looking into it for this video, I found out the drummer's name is Louis Delorme. I wanted to give him special mention because he did a fantastic job. He's played with Air in the past, so it's not surprising his drumming mixed so well with Godin and Dunckel's instrumentation. During the show, they played 2 different sets and a 2-track encore. The first set, as you'd guess from the name of the tour, consisted of every single track from their debut album, Moon Safari. If you don't know, Moon Safari is one of my favorite albums ever made. It's a calm and beautiful outing with so much warmth, texture, and replayability. Listening to a live rendition of the album was a wonderful experience. They made some changes to the tracks, presumably to accommodate the live setting and to keep things unique. I'll let the clips I took do the rest of the talking for this part. of course, they weren't going to stop at just the 10 tracks from Moon Safari. After a brief pause, they played a variety of tracks from these 3 albums. I knew I'd get every track from Moon Safari, so it was kind of exciting to see what songs they chose to play afterwards. As fantastic as the first set was, I thought the second set and encore were even better. Not by a large margin, though. Like I said before, the whole show was incredible. Here are the rest of the clips I took. I did not get footage of this, but the last track they played was Electronic Performers from 10,000 Hertz Legend. It went incredibly hard, and it was the perfect way to wrap up the show. After they finished playing, the 3 musicians stood at the edge of the stage while gesturing towards the audience. I remember seeing each of them bow, and Dunckel blew kisses at the crowd. At this point, I was out of my seat. While standing, I clapped above my head before I switched to waving at the artists. I swear to God Godin saw me do this, because right afterwards, he switched his gesture to waving and then pointed at me. This was basically the cherry on top of everything. To describe the show in one word, I would call it magical, as corny as that might sound. Experiencing such an elaborate and colorful show was sublime. From both a visual and audio standpoint, it was masterfully done. I hope one day the duo gives us new studio material as Air. Dunckel and Godin are active separately, but they haven't released any new Air material in years. Outside of one show in Paris, the Airplay Moon Safari tour has concluded. Assuming they continue to tour, I'd highly recommend seeing them play if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.